never fails. I invoke the flame of the Ark of the Covenant. I invoke the mighty threefold flame of the I Am presence of each one, to blaze forth upon the altar of the heart, to render each one a chalice of the living God, of Elohim archangels, and the lords of the seven rays. O hosts of the Lord, beloved Mahachohan, legions of fire of the great central sun, mighty seraphim of God, encircle us each one. Let the rings of fire of seraphim present us unto the living God, and may our offering be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Divine Mother. Amen. Let us sing number 192 to beloved MORYA once. To the light and the beautiful I speak, and I laud the living flame of God reality. Yet I deplore in my chelas the inattentiveness to that light and that beauty, and to the necessity of striving hourly to be the instrument of that divine reality, thus to take for granted that that which is above shall descend to that which is beneath, is a most serious error. Thus I come in this hour, beloved, with major concerns for the chelaship of my own. To that end, I ask you to be seated. The mind is not sufficient instrument for the mind of God. Whether there is a will to change must be determined by everyone, everyone so gathered here, and everyone throughout the world who has known the blessings of the dispensation given unto me in this century. Blessed ones, I adjure you, for I must. You have known that Saint Germain's opportunity for dispensations have run out and been denied by the lords of karma in various hours of this century, and so it has been for him in other centuries. This day and hour of divine justice, under the blessed hierarchy of Virgo, also does mark for me the termination of new opportunity for the chelas of the will of God. Thus I come to tell you, beloved, that unless you avail yourselves of that which I have already given you, and given to you from the Darjeeling Council, and that which the messengers have given, unless that be put to use fruitfully, abundantly, wisely, and obediently, I will see, for my part, no new dispensation that I may offer. Thus, beloved ones, the number 8 does signify to us the encounter. It may be the encounter with MORYA, beloved ones, but surely it is the encounter with the karma of neglect. This karma, then, can be stayed no longer for the individual members of this body, of our organization so founded 30 years ago. And thus, beloved, this organization is destined to reach a crescendo of Christhood at its 33-year cycle. Therefore, from this hour to the 3rd year, the 33, let it be known, let it be understood, and let it be remembered that I have stood for you and each and every one, and I have placed myself between you and the lords of karma many a time, and between you and your returning karma. This I have done judiciously, for I have desired to see you have some measure of the experience of that karma, that you might be strengthened, that you might know the way and be sure-footed, for having tripped a few times on the way. Blessed ones, it is no longer possible, and thus you have observed just how much effort you have put forth, and for this I am profoundly grateful in the holding of the balance of the forces moving against this land and the very integrity of your souls. But beloved, this has been so for the necessity to bring you into a state of realism of just how that world karma may play upon you, how you may be vulnerable to it, right to the borders of this, the inner retreat. Without enormous sacrifice and intercession of those of us who have given and given again, and when we have given again and again, we have hidden our eyes, for we would not look upon the karmic condition of some in this community, that of neglect, that of repeated ignoring of the counsels and the lessons given, and thus who were not, in fact, deserving of our dispensations, and we did know the karma we did incur to defend this organization, often from unknown dangers that you may never have become consciously aware of. Knowing this due date coming upon me, therefore, the Darjeeling Council, together with Sanat Kumara, determined that certain of the threats to the world body should be made known at this conference past, and thus a greater awareness of the inroads of aliens on Earth and in other places has come to your attention for action. Awareness, action is our byword. Need we tell you to make the call, or to arrange for the decree sessions, or put less important things aside? I think not. I think you know that when dispensations of light are meted out, as they have been meted out, and as awarenesses of darkness come, that calls to amplify the light and deny the darkness must be forthcoming swiftly, lest the darkness overtake you before you have anchored the light of dispensation. Would to God, I say, that you might carry on a 7-day marathon, 12 hours a day, and put behind us some of this personal karma that does indeed draw you nearer to the personal precipice that you fear most, or ought to fear if you do not. Thus, blessed ones, we are aware of the pressures from without that mount against the circle of this body, and the demands that are made upon each and every one of you and all. Will you not also have compassion for us, that the pressures that are upon us in the Darjeeling Council concerning the future of this earth body are also enormous? Therefore, we too are grateful for gentle rain of mercy. We too are grateful for drop by drop that may come to us by the call of our chelas here below. Thus, beloved, you may still know to read the signs of the times by the very profile of the messenger. You may come to understand that burden also as you share the garment, as you share the oneness of this truly divine experience. Blessed hearts, you should do me great service if you could render for me the call to the will of God, for that call that was written down from my own causal body by Mark does give to you the balance of the will of God, and my own diamond heart and the diamond of my turban, focusing within your 4 lower bodies a grid of light. I should like to have, beloved, some reservoir of the call to the will of God, of the sweet surrender, that I might have in time of greatest need something in store to offer even the lords of karma, when I desire not to leave you in the straits of dealing with forces you know not of. Therefore, beloved, I did give myself to receive the violet flame and to give the violet flame, if you will remember that I determined to be that cup of violet flame, that reservoir of light. Remember me also, beloved, for I am the one that does repeatedly come to defend you, and you have become so accustomed to my intercession, O blessed hearts, that I am concerned that when the hour come and I am not allowed to give it, that you will suddenly sense and say to yourself, where is MORYA? Why does this battle endure? Blessed ones, therefore, of the necessity of this circumstance, I have but one choice, and that is to tell you that I must apply the laws of dispensations given, as it was told to you by beloved Serapis Bey, that those who would not be willing to give the full measure of those 3 services of a week could not enjoy the benefits of the inner retreat. Now I must draw that line of discipline, and I must say it must be so. And therefore, in order to hopefully retain opportunity to help those who are chelas, and to goad those who might be better chelas to a greater manifestation of diligence, I must say then that unless you are actively attending those services in your areas, you may not attend services at King Arthur's court. And those who enter this court then must be in a fiery diligence, must be on lesson 8 of their Keepers of the Flame lessons and beyond, and must truly show the mark of diligence in keeping the time and the schedules, and not letting anything cause them to not appear at the appointed hour. Blessed ones, I stand at a moment when I desire to give you all of my causal body for your victory, all of my experience and all of my counsel. The Karmic Board has sent me to tell you that for the blessings received in these 30 years from my heart, from this day forward, if you desire my intercession, it must be upon the principle of pay as you go. For each day's intercession, there must be abundant action on the calls to my flame, as you know, the number 10.03. This call, beloved, is the key to my causal body and to my diamond heart, and to the more that we can give to you through the messengers. Blessed ones, I shall return to you many, many fold, as the law will allow it, your offering of the calls to the will of God. And then, beloved, what is not used up in the given day may accrue as a reservoir, as a sphere of light, and therefore that you will have in reserve that portion so needed. Blessed ones, there must be then preparedness. You must seek it and find it and make it the one-pointed goal. We do not rest as the days pass and the interferences come. Our hearts and minds, the all-seeing eye of God with us, the blessed Elohim, they have said to me, and so I say to you what they have said. Blessed MORYA, our son, we will stand for you and for the Chohans and for the Darjeeling Council in the sponsorship of this activity. We will give of our 7 rays, but we also must be invoked. Therefore they have said, let there be, following the evening session of Astrayas, a group of stalwart ones who will stand as chalices of Elohim, who will remain with Daniel without partaking of meat, and who will remain celibate, and therefore have a one-pointed goal of carrying the rays and the light of the 7 Elohim in their chakras, to be pillars in this community, and priests unto God, and priestesses unto the Divine Mother above. Thus, fulfilling an hour of calls and song or more to Elohim each evening in the 7 days of the week, these individuals shall serve as chalices in the community for holding a direct light And by that action, beloved, perhaps I then will regain a greater opportunity to stand with you. For was I not there in the days of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah? Was I not there, and did I not see? Did I not behold the destruction of the cities of the plain by nuclear energy? Have I not been a survivor age after age? Have I not known the evil of these Nephilim gods? And have I not trained you up by placing them so near to you, even in your own families, even in the nearness of neighbor, teacher, employer, employee, that you would know finally the patterns and be quickened in the ancient memory when you have been taught on other spheres of just what would be the psychology and the ploys and the conspiracies of these fallen ones in this hour. I have been there, I have told you, and for some of you who may think you might have deserved better surroundings, better parents, and so forth, I can tell you, you may very well have deserved better. Therefore, do not feel downhearted or condemned by what has been your lot. For you were Chila's mine from the beginning, and you shall be, by God's grace, if you will it so, Chila's mine unto the end. Blessed ones, therefore, being concerned for your upbringing and your training, I saw to it that you would not miss the encounter with these evil ones who would mock you, who would be brutal and cunning and destroy other fine relationships and friendships, and come between you if they could, those you loved most and your God. Laugh with me, beloved, for you are here, and I am here, and none shall stand between us forever. I pledge it to you from my heart, beloved, that all that I am and all that I am to be and all that I can give, I shall give to you determinedly as the great law will allow it. O beloved, so also invoke Kuan Yin and mercy's flame, that there might be even that bridge between us when I have no more dispensation. My true hearts of gold, where hearts are pure, will you allow to endure the stubbornness and the density and the repetitions that cost us so very much? Oh, blessed hearts, I know. It is not always easy to stand apart from the crowd and say, I will walk with my God, even if I walk alone. Blessed ones, there is no point for chastisement, for are we not already punished when ignorance and density beset us and we take note? And I speak, for I am a part of you, that some portion of the sense of self, the mind, the memory, the reason, the strength of the will of the desire body, or even the physical strength does fail. Is this not enough? I trust that your groaning and concern as to the non-expansiveness of some faculties shall be to you a goad to a greater acceleration. I trust, beloved, that the law descending from the lords of karma upon me will also be to you the most certain of the prick, even the prick that does stir the finest steed to his finest hour. Most blessed ones, I draw a circle of the will of God around the fiery chelas, and some who yet tie themselves to mother's apron strings will find themselves outside that circle, and it must be so for want of attentiveness to the law that is just on this 8 o'clock line where I stand. And I stand flanked by Kuthumi, who does stand on the 4, with our great divine director on the 12. And on that line I say to you, beloved, if you are outside of the law, whether human or divine, you must quickly confess your sins to the appropriate persons. Make rectitude. Correct such states and come into alignment. For the sin not confessed, the illegal posture not acknowledged, though none may know about it, does prevent the karma from descending, and therefore the expiation of that karma, even if you give the violet flame decrees daily. The making right of all things with all persons in embodiment or elsewhere is most necessary for the alignment with my heart or with the embodied messenger. Cannot be strong when there are those deeds, actions, and records not in keeping with the law. Thus, if there be not the confession and then the repentance and then the willingness to balance the karma, there is not the tight coil of oneness, a coil so tight between us that I desire to have with you, that there be no separation, heart to heart, breath to breath, soul to soul, chakra to chakra. I desire your chakras to be one with my own, and my chakras to be yours when you have need of them. Did not we, the Mahatmas, even provide for Blavatsky a sheath of an astral body where she did lack the fortitude, and would otherwise not have been our amanuensis? Have we not filled in the chinks in the armor and the gaps? Have we told you so? Nay, we have given you your hours of joy and victory, supporting you and affirming your discipleship. Blessed ones, the hour has come when attainment must be thy own. That path of attainment you are well prepared for, but by some missing word or link or understanding, or perhaps too easy a way for our presence, you have not gained a sufficiency of co-measurement to understand the level of striving necessary to survive on the path and beyond. This absence of awareness, or perhaps an awareness not heeded or responded to, has brought to your messenger unascended, tears, tears of profound sorrow and grief. And as she has come to me in Darjeeling to say, what have I not done that the word spoken does not elicit the response for these diamond-hearted ones to offer then that immaculately cut diamond for the fight to the victory, only to be told by me that I too have gone to my own guru to ask the very same question. Thus, beloved, some may understand why there are tears on the face of the statues of Mother Mary in various places around the world. Some think it is for the calamity that is coming, but I tell you, it is for the non-responsiveness to the word spoken and to the great Lord, Sanat Kumara. Do you know, beloved, and you do not, therefore I shall tell you, that while you invoked the light here yesterday, the call was made as it was destined to be made by the messenger in that very hour. 1,000,000 years ago, it was destined that the call be made in that hour yesterday. And therefore the messenger did call in the person and mantle of the Divine Mother that she does bear at inner levels. Kuan Yin and Mother Mary with her did cry out to all light bearers of the world, all of whom recognize her, did implore every one of those light bearers to let go of their cups of materialism, to let go of the money beast, to let go of this civilization and to come apart, imploring and giving call after call after call for all legions of the Divine Mother to cut them free. And with all of this and these centuries of service of our bands, beloved hearts, at this crucial hour of the handwriting on the wall, apart from the body of God already separated out, of those light bearers on the entire planet, how many do you think responded? I tell you, 5% left their hold upon the money beast and heeded the call of the one whose face they have known forever. Shall we all weep together, or shall we take our tears, and shall we call for them to be the water of life, to sustain ourselves in this community effort that must be made, if for no other purpose than for a demonstration of solidarity under Saint Germain and Sanat Kumara, that when called to prepare the chelas of the will of God, prepare, and they do so, and they do not expect another to do it for them. Beloved ones, I can tell you, if you are looking for Maitreya, the encounter is precisely to prepare to survive underground, and to do so in the time allotted. Therefore, I have so counseled the members of this board and staff to present to all the plan refined, considered by us and the Archangel Michael as the necessary and sufficient means for preparedness and survival under the worst of circumstances of nuclear war and earth changes. When that is accomplished, beloved hearts, you will know what is the next step of the path of the Bodhisattvas. You know it not, but you build the stupa of the Buddha beneath the earth. Thus, take the key. What is sufficient for the Buddha and the Buddha of the ruby ray must be sufficient for thee. Therefore, the psychological testing of oneself under stress, under discipline, undertaking of short and precise orders, and following them precisely to completion. Blessed hearts, in a survival situation, you must have the fire of Serapis. Thus I come clothed this night in the white fire core of my inner being, as I manifest myself in the heart of the 5 secret rays. Time and space, then, Mother and Buddha. This you have heard long ago, and you have thought well. When we embody the Buddha, will it not be so that we will have unlimited space and the vastness of the expanse of cosmos? Aye, it is so, and this property is vast. Vaster still, if you are an ant or a mole. But blessed hearts, the real test of the Buddha, of space itself, is confinement, is absolute God peace under conditions extraordinary. Though you do not imagine them to be so, such confinement may be the greatest challenge that you have ever faced. Therefore, let those who come to services come with their briefcases or portfolios. Let them bring their lists of dispensations, their charts and outlines of the cosmic clock given at the past conference. Let them meditate upon those lines and embark upon spiral of God mastery within. Blessed ones, you will reach the place, therefore, here or hereafter, wherein, in order to go beyond and enter the coils of the ascension, you may come to the moment where time and space dissolve, and by the consciousness of the One, and then of eternity as the Eternal One, you shall indeed overcome all sense of being the prisoner of any time or any space, any era, any century, any karmic coil, any condition, any adversity, any persecution, or worldly success. Either bane or blessing, time frame or space, none of these shall perturb you, for you have found the key and turned it in the lock and opened the door to the secret chambers of the 5 secret ray spheres. There in the peace, then, of the internal oneness, you may find true deliverance in this age. My love falls on the just and the unjust. I may not love you less for your indiscretions, for your absence from the fiery altar of change, but blessed ones, and I speak to those throughout the field, when you leave off your devotions for periods, you are weakened. The distance grows between thyself and the flame of the Ark of the Covenant, between thyself and my heart. It is imperceptible. The adjustment to lesser vibrations is easy. It is the broad way that leadeth to destruction. And that which is lost, not being capable of being perceived, is no longer missed. Blessed ones, one may have a memory of higher octaves, but one cannot recreate in consciousness the direct experience of those octaves except one be in those octaves. You may remember the intense fire you once knew in the presence of Sanat Kumara during a dictation or in past golden ages on other spheres, but it is impossible to recreate it at will by yourself. Not until you become as Kuan Yin, the self-existent one, fully ascended in the light and free, one as the I am that I am, you are that I am. And so, beloved, by and by even the memory does grow dim in the mist, and as though looking through dense fog, one can no longer see the heights one has left. Blessed ones, we have observed this happen in a single 7-day period of a life stream. It is not uncommon. So far out of the way can an individual depart, and so much light can be squandered with so little effort and hardly any time at all. Thus, beloved, though my love is forever, I am profoundly chagrined where I have seen how many have made initial progress on the path, whether in 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 years, or 10 embodiments, only to be distracted by the strong delusions and magnetisms of the lesser world. And do you know, beloved, that straying most often comes because the individual does not recognize his attainment. The Chela does not know how much of the Guru lives within inside of himself, how much of the central sun has already increased that threefold flame and consciousness. One cannot know what is inside another, and therefore one thinks, I am not as good as that one nor this one. But beloved, I therefore come to expand the light and the beautiful that you are, the reality, and to give my sense of co-measurement to souls who take for granted that that inner being will somehow be fused to them in some way beyond their conscious awareness, and therefore the effort need not be made. Oh, I desire to give you the consciousness of Bodhidharma and the Eastern adepts and the gurus who gave to their chelas such intense discipline and initiation, with scarcely a look of encouragement or praise for 1 or 5 lifetimes, lest that one in a moment of approval should lose the sense of being on guard, should lose the sense of the necessity for striving. And yet, beloved, there had to be an impartation of a self-awareness so strong as you must give in parenting, so strong, beloved, that in the midst of the rigors of chelaship, that one would never lose sight of the point of the diamond that I show you now within, which is the point of your center of infinity. I reveal to you now the white dot as the white fire core. I trust you become aware of it in this moment as a point of center in the innermost being, between the heart chakra and the seat of the soul chakra. Somewhere between those two, beloved, the soul is mounting the spiral of being, passing through the records of the electronic belt, pushing through, exerting, intense, desiring, and summoning all the strength of her momentum in this octave. That soul is groaning in travail to become one with the Divine Mother. While in the West, the self, the sense of self, the psychological self, is more centered in the mental body and the awareness of the mind and of thought, rather than of the inner being. Thus the white dot, beloved. It is a nucleus and a vortex. I desire you to see it, for you have heard spoken of the seed atom. It is a reflection of that seed atom and a counterpart of that which is in the base of the spine chakra, sealed. Blessed ones, train yourself to be your soul. Be your soul, I say, instead of merely being your intellectual mind, where from morning till night you are on the single wavelength of thinking, reasoning, questioning, analyzing, computing. Remember, beloved, this is but a portion of self. Unless the self become the soul and understand identity as the soul, the self does not realize within itself the mirror reflection of the living Christ, the Lord, the higher mental body of that higher consciousness that you are. This is the light and the beautiful that I extol. Thus, to allow all energies to center in this mental and mentality of self is to starve the soul of the sense of selfhood. I am a living soul of God, becoming who I am that I am day by day. Remind yourself with this mantra that you are a soul, strengthening, intensifying, and the soul, beloved, does gain spirit, and the spirit that the soul gains is fire, sacred fire. Thus, when we speak of the spirit of a man, we speak of his cosmic honor flame, his integrity, his strength, his presence. The spirit of the individual is that which the soul has drawn down from the I Am presence and raised up from the Divine Mother, weaving a cocoon of light, skeins as silken fibers around the soul until the wedding garment, all gold and purest white, suddenly unveiled, and in the cosmic mirror the soul does behold and see, yes, my Lord, I am ready. Now, beloved, until the moment of the appearing of thyself, thy soul as bride, you are the mirror, and all that you can have of the infinite one of the I Am presence, is that which you can reflect here below. And when you will reflect it steadily, as in a quiet pool, for 24 hours, you will have that momentum and that thread woven into your garment. This is not difficult. Many of you sustain a flame of inner peace for days upon days, even though the outer self, the surface, may become ruffled. You sustain an inner love even though on the surface there may be agitation, as the alchemy of self is felt in the self's contact with the world. This chemicalization of contact with all manner of toxins, of elements, of abuses of the chemistry of the planet does surely cause a surface aggravation from the body to throughout the 4 lower bodies. Beloved, let the soul rise daily. I said, let the soul rise daily. For in this thou shalt know the victory. Blessed ones, as you move at a pace that is dictated by the acceleration of your own devotions and decrees, mind you, in which you make contact with your heart and the heart of your Christ self, and your I Am presence and the brotherhood, you pass more quickly than you realize, as though taking a journey in the fastest plane around the planet. And thus, moment by moment, you enter new chambers in the electronic belt of old karma. It is the proverbial labyrinth. And so, from moment to moment, as a kaleidoscope of astral debris changing, is the encounter, and the soul that has become a spirit infired and fiery by determination and love and will, does direct that fire into that substance. But at times of weariness, when energies wane for whatever reason, the soul is not so aggressively cutting through, and thus there are stations along the way and pockets where the soul is slowed down. You have understood this, you have written to me and other of the ascended masters and to the messenger, and you have said, I have not done so well, I have been out of alignment, I sense it, I know that I am not in that place where I used to be. What can I do and help me? This is our answer, beloved. Understand that you have elected a path of acceleration, but are as the blind who see not. All that you see is the effect in your life of a performance or a lesser performance. And so, beloved, when you are at those moments, know you have reached a denser pocket, one of greater intensity, and it will always be reflected in outer circumstance and challenges, diversions of your time, interferences with the community, and so forth. Thus the community as a whole did reach collectively a pocket of dense astral substance in the electronic belt. And all together, from that level, had to fight against the fires of death and hell, whether they be in the nation's capital or at your border. Understand, beloved, that this is an outcropping of collective community karma amongst a people who do not always consider that karmic debts must be paid, and paid on time. They are either paid in service and violet flame decrees, or through initiations that become more and more difficult as you mount that spiral and come closer to the 51% mark of balance. Beloved ones, in the past 24 months, I must say to you, unfortunately, that there is an individual as an example in this community who, instead of reaching for a 51% balance of karma and of embodying that Christhood, did find himself in this hour embodying 53% of his dweller on the threshold. Perceiving this from inner levels, and seeing the burden on the 4 lower bodies of this individual, the messenger did make every call available to her in support of this individual's victory. Beloved, the inattentiveness to the call of the heart to balance the threefold flame, to send out love and clear all obstructions, was not fully heeded by this individual, but it has not been heeded by many. It is simply a case that the many did not arrive at this particular initiation, but this individual did. Blessed ones, Gautama Buddha does stress the clearing of the heart chakra, because when the heart is cleared of hardness of heart, unkindness, absence of love, absence of mercy, and the threefold flame does expand, the individual is equipped to be one with Maitreya, and Maitreya does come as Father and place his hand over the hand of the Chela, who may then hold the sword. And Maitreya does show the Chela how to wield that sword, how to plunge that ruby-raised sword into the very core of that dweller. Heaven is so careful to teach you carefully. And so, beloved, in the hour and the day when the karma descends, you must have a heart of intense fire, cleared in the physical octave of all substances of cholesterol and fat and burdens that weaken the arteries and the veins. Blessed ones, the establishing of good health and sacred fire of the heart is most important, because when these burdens descend, they are a burden to the physical body, and the brunt of that burden is borne by the heart. The heart that is filled with Christ's love is untouchable. Exercise Christ's love while you are in the way with Christ as friend and brother. Then when you meet Christ as initiator, you will embrace the initiator and become one with that Lord, because you are in sync with the vibration of the initiator and therefore the initiation. O love that will not let me go or you go, beloved. How great is love! How great are hearts filled with love! How much are hearts protected by love! How the Christ flame does increase! How love does magnetize the higher wisdom for correct decision making! Many decisions will be made, and only one decision will be right. You must be right on. Love does magnetize power. Love, true love, begets purity and joy. My blessed hearts, I ask you to consider diligently the conditions for which you are preparing, and whether or not it is timely to consider bringing forth children in this hour. I ask you to be wise and prudent, and I call to your attention, for Mother Mary has asked me to tell you that you must slay the dweller on the threshold and the false hierarchy impostor of any children of light that are destined to come through you, now or in the far future. For, beloved, the fallen ones as arch deceivers have approached parents of light throughout the ages, posing as souls of light, actually placing pressure upon parents to give birth to them. And on occasion, beloved, when parents have not challenged the presence of such a one, but simply assume that anyone appearing and desiring to be born must be sent by God, such parents have unnecessarily brought forth life streams that were not assigned to them. Beloved ones, there are fallen ones and foul spirits throughout the astral plane that forever seek to be embodied through the light bearers. Take care then to guard the sanctity of thy path. Understand for what cause those parents, holy ones, whose lives recorded in the Old and New Testament show extensive preparations and calls for great protection. The pursuit of special diets, prayers, communions, paths of celibacy and preparation, all manner of initiation on the path. Some of these parents whose stories are retold, which stories the messenger gave to you at a previous summer conference, did wait years and years and years until they qualified under the hierarchy of the Brotherhood to receive those souls who were assigned to them. Thus, I come to pierce illusions of fantasy, illusions that come down from the motion picture industry and their productions of this century, and the playing on the screens over and over and over again of the dreams of married love and childbearing outside of the inner temple court and the path of initiation. Blessed hearts, there are indeed souls of light that we should desire at the right time to bring forth in this community. We seek not numbers, but quality, and very specific souls who are worthy of the tremendous effort made on the part of every community member, including the parents, to sponsor a soul to the full maturity of Christhood. Thus, beloved, I urge you to understand that you do live in one of the lower vibrating planetary spheres, that the protection of the archangels, all 7 of them, is called for, especially when desiring to be the chalice of the incoming great souls of light. Consider this matter profoundly. Consider then all future plans that have to do with family, with parenting, and with marriage, and determine where you must position yourself as directed from within, to see to it that this community, this headquarters, all at Glastonbury, and all keepers of the flame throughout the world, must accomplish this preparedness to be, does receive your priority attention and the priority of the sacred fire within you. Be unafraid to confront the self in the mirror once a day, to take an assessment and to say, is the fire of the eye sufficient to the task? Is the inner coil of being so tight that it is ready to move? Can I truly be there, ready to protect my own in 15 minutes? Blessed ones, some place their attention on a dessert for a celebration. Yet I have said, let my dictation be this dessert. Those who seek their just deserts here and now will surely receive them, for it is the hour of karmic reckoning of the chelas. But I recommend that you refrain from unjust deserts that weaken the mind and the will and give the body an added burden that do not find you on the point of cosmic alert. I therefore ban desserts from our headquarters kitchens, and those who have them and will have them if they must may find them in our restaurant and know that I, MORYA, do not sit with you for dessert, for I do not take my own until this mission be fulfilled and you are home free. As Jesus said, I will not drink this wine with you until I drink it new with you in the kingdom. So I say to you, let us not celebrate until the prize is ours. I speak then to those who are called the teens of this community. The teenage years of the formation of self and character, of calling, profession, education. The fickleness, the easy swings of emotion, also based on diet. And yet the quick changes, the insights, the realization of maturity, and suddenly, perhaps to the surprise of all observing, the wandering teen does become somehow the responsible adult and Chela. Blessed ones, it is an age we have all passed through in every lifetime, where we have exceeded the age of 20. In all times and circumstances, I have great compassion for this age, one of idealism, one of the desire for acceptability, experience, a self-discovery and independence in every way. Blessed hearts, in keeping then with that which has come upon me, and all that I have extended and expended of my allotment of energy of the will of God on behalf of our youth, I therefore this night must draw the line. Champion of your free will, I shall remain, and lover of your soul. But I must say, if you do not have mercy for me, and for this cause and this goal, enough to refrain from a conscious free will entering into rock music, or drugs, or alcohol, or nicotine, or sugar. If these things so deadly to the integration of the soul with the Christ cannot be set aside by you, then I must say to you, beloved, until you are ready for Chelaship as I am able to give it, please do not request to participate in the activities of the inner retreat or the Royal Teton Ranch, nor in services at any of our centers. If you will have your freedom, I urge you to drink the cup to the fullest, to explore that freedom, and ultimately to make your choice and to live with your choice. I pray that the opportunity will remain when you do decide, if you do decide, that this is the path to be preferred. But until that time, beloved, I shall not allow you to cross this threshold beyond this day in any of our centers, for I say to you, souls of light, of the very same age as yourselves, we dare not send for their contamination by your out of alignment state and cynicism or sensuality or worldliness. This then has been our experience, and these souls therefore have been kept away from our retreat, lest they follow in your example. Let the light bearers come to the altar for their pledge to the will of God, and the diamond heart shall give us new thrust, and I pray and pray fervently holy purpose. Beloved ones, it is good for a season not to feel an obligation to come here when one desires other experiences. It is a relief to know that the cosmos is a place of free will and individuality, and that you are free to pursue it, and that we are also free to pursue it, and we are free to draw the line with a ruby ray, and draw a circle around community, to initiate those in that community, and to say, within this circle, by the stability, mental and psychological, by the honesty and by the constancy of all within it, we may accelerate and raise up once again an acceptable and a more acceptable offering unto the lords of karma and Sanat Kumara. Thus, beloved, be not chagrined, but be relieved that a line is drawn. Thus, beloved, lest you ask the messenger, I must say to you that those teenagers who happen to live within this community, who are not willing to live according to the rules embraced by this community, may not remain. And I say to you, children of these parents who desire to be chelas here, if you determine to be the cause whereby you and therefore your parents must also leave, may you know that though you have free will, you also have the capacity to make karma for your exercise of that free will and for the effect thereof upon other life streams. Thus, beloved, weigh choices, for teens are not free of karma making, though all of America and Western civilization may so behave. Teenagers make much, much karma, beloved, and they may spend decades undoing that karma. But then again, a choice made is a lesson to be learned and earned. And if it is lessons that you need to bring you to the heart of God, then I pray that you take them and learn them quickly. I urge parents and teachers then to remember the proverb, to train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. It is you who are molding character, determination, and resolve, the work ethic, and the nobility of embodying the word. But be not dismayed when, having given all of your heart in truly the proper manner, or almost the proper manner, children do make their own choices in life. They are not your own, as the prophet has said, and therefore they have come through you, and you have given your best. Remember the good, cherish the treasures shared. They must fly, they must be their own person, and you must know that they were that person when they came to you, and be satisfied that you have given them an impetus toward heaven. Now they must chart their own course. Blessed hearts, for this reason we give fastidious attention to new souls and new children growing up in this community. Parents, learn the art of sacrifice very quickly. It is a sacrifice to bear children when one gives all that one must give, and still one must give to one's community. Many have done well, and beautiful souls abound. It is not for want of beautiful souls that a community may miss the mark, but for want of diligence in determining to be one's soul, to be one's own thought, one's own feeling, one's own mind integrated, and to rise daily without fail. Thus, in memory of MORYA and in memory of the Mystery School of Eden, I say it is possible to fail at Maitreya's Mystery School. I would much rather remind you of that possibility than of the ever-present possibility of victory itself. For, beloved, if you determine not to fail, you shall be God victorious. But if you ignore that potential to fail, no matter how far you believe you are on the path, then surely you may slip between the cracks. Elohim have pronounced, and heed it well. The judgment will descend upon the economy of the United States. May you move with diligence to not be caught by this event, as some of you were a year ago. It is important that those with their eye on Glastonbury move together to the end that they may pay in full for their properties. It is only just, beloved. For if there is a day and an hour when you have banked neither the fires of the resurrection nor a sufficiency of funds, and therefore you can no longer make your payments on your land, you place in jeopardy that property. Thus you must build, and build wisely and firmly. Expect to be accountable for your survival, and you shall. Use wisdom, intelligence, information, knowledge, inform yourselves, and above all, hear the voice within. Make sound business judgments. I speak to all keepers of the flame. In this year, the messenger has already dismissed from this church individuals who have financially taken advantage of others and then failed to repay what was promised. Wherever there has been the taking advantage financially of other keepers of the flame or those without the church, restitution must be made. Neither the Darjeeling Council nor MORYA nor the messenger will bear the karma of those individuals who have taken advantage of the well-meaning or persuaded others to give them funds for unwise and unsound investments or businesses which they had no prior training to establish or to enter into. Thus, beloved, you can expect that those who have been dishonest with other people's money must be exposed And if it is you who must expose them, then expose them. For those who cover for and cover up for another's misdeeds will therefore bear and share that karma, though they had no part with it, and though they need not descend to that unnecessary entanglement which many do merely by human sympathy. Therefore, let the just be made perfect in love, and let justice be the sign of the mark of completion. Let there be no breaks in the figure-8 flow, and let those who know that they have acted dishonestly or at least imprudently move quickly to rectify these situations. All such shenanigans, and I would call them such, block the entering into this community of true light bearers. It does create a community karma. The weight is too great for MORYA and for the heart of the messenger already given. Therefore, they must be cut off until balance is made. I ask you to establish a sphere of blue fire around yourselves by singing to me as the Chohan of power, led by the musicians.
198.
Establish golden age is drawing nigh. Lift our thoughts to God on high. El MORYA, thy flame expand, while each one in this fair land establish order ritual too, till each one knows just what to do. El MORYA, thou chosen of God, come be with us every hour, the plan of life to all unfold, Christ's victory in all who mold. El MORYA, thou chosen of God, seal us in thy flame each hour, guide our way, perfect our zeal. O MORYA, all chaos heal. El MORYA, we now command all of them to take thy stand, for perfection, order true, in all we think and say and do. El MORYA, thou God of truth, in thy flame conceal our youth, perfect our way, make straight their paths, through flame power both sure and fast. El MORYA, invoke thy power, help us work and serve each hour, help us plan each day aright, by thy love make all things right. El MORYA, we look to thee, help us gain self-mastery, the golden age is drawing nigh. Lift our thoughts to God on high. El MORYA, thy flame expand, throughout each one in this fair land, establish order ritual too, till each one knows just what to do. El MORYA, thou chosen of God, come be with us every hour, the plan of life to all unfold, Christ's victory in all to mold.
Five is the hour of base ignorance. I have espoused that line and hierarchy and that chakra, that I might be with you in the day and the hour when you are surfeited in your own base ignorance of the things you know not, and an ignorance that has caused you, in so feeling separate from life, to covet, to envy, to desire that which is another's attainment. Such is the lot of fallen angels, be it not the lot of my chelas. 5 is the line of MORYA. 5 o'clock is the hour I appear at the altar. May this hour for morning decrees not deviate summer or winter, and may you be on time and ahead of time. I say this, beloved, for I desire, with a deep desiring of my heart, and the mantle of my office, to take from you the human substance of that line, and when ready, when you are ready and I am, to take from you the substance of the corresponding 11 o'clock line. I desire this line to be the bond of our chilaship. I desire this hour, morning and evening, that you shall remember me and remember the will of God. For to cut across the clock in that hour, beloved, gives you the victory in all quadrants. It sounds the death knell of those interlopers who have invaded the mental quadrant. It gives you the thrust to enter the astral plane and to go for that remaining 49% when you receive the tests of the descent into death and hell. On the 11 o'clock line, beloved, it does give you the final word of victory in the physical octave for precipitation, for survival, and of all lines of the clock. It gives you the impetus in the 11th hour to triumph when the resentment and the revenge of all of death and hell break loose and the warlords. Thus, by the 5:11, you conquered time, and by that victory, you gain the thrust to begin anew with a great divine director on the 12 o'clock. Thus, this axis is truly the fulcrum. Beloved ones, in great joy, at a certain hour on the path of this messenger, I was able, by service, her service and diligent chilaship, to take from her human creation and karma of that line and replace it with a certain portion of my God wisdom and my God victory. Know then, beloved, that the corresponding joy of the messenger so many years ago now was an elation to my own heart, as that infusion of illumination's golden flame did impart the joy and the zest for striving, the joy and the zest to defeat the dweller on the threshold of a planet and a galaxy. Such is the momentum of the yellow fire. Such is the call of the hierarchs for illumination's golden flame, tapes supporting the violet flame. Now then, beloved, I come to praise my chelas. I come to say to you that I have not missed one moment of ardent service. I have not missed the drops of sweat, the hours, the fulfillment, the achievement, and the striving. I have seen it all, and I have assembled devas of the diamond heart of the will of God, who applaud your efforts and with me desire to bless you. You then, being wise chelas, able to assess the victory of a summer's conference, of a fire thrust back, of an enemy who shakes and trembles and quakes around the planet for your presence. You then are also wise enough to know that you do not desire your just deserts in this octave, but desire them to accrue to your causal body, for you are banking on total victory. Thus, beloved, I impart to you a certain percentage, a goodly percentage of that momentum of victory that you have gained in 14 months past of striving. Thus, beloved, whether in this court or throughout the world, as you shall see, not only hear but see this dictation, so note that I extend the ruby focus, and through it now there does come to each one that portion that now may be for you attainment, strength, momentum of that which you have accomplished. And though you may have served till weary in your bones, till you could not take another step, I say, you shall not be weakened, but strengthened now by the true reward. Strengthened then by hearts pure and diligent. Not one erg of service or striving rendered with pure and loving heart is either lost or unnoticed, nor does it remain unmultiplied, but it is multiplied. It does increase. Thus, beloved, because you do have your reward, and your reward is with you as attainment, shun lethargy and petty indulgences, whereby you compromise the full exercise of the mantle you have gained, or the portion of mantle. You do not lose this reward, beloved. It only becomes less available. Thus, wield attainment. Every one of you has it to a greater or lesser degree. In the hour, then, when the wages are paid, each one does receive according to his service. I fine you not for failure. Failure is its own fine, for there is no reward, but only a burden. And thus, by the attainment you have won, you must use that attainment again to wrestle with self, cast out the lesser mind, and begin again. We are not gurus and chelas on a treadmill, ignorant mice, treading the same place again and again, while someone measures our heart and breath. Nay, we move on. We will not repeat the same space. We will conquer the next level. Build firmly, claim your victories, move on, I say, move on. The morrow holds greater victories for greater challenges. Blessed ones, in some sense of the word, it is not alone for shortcomings that I may have my reins shortened in this hour, but for want of a greater worldwide response to the call itself. A planet has incurred karma, a nation has incurred karma, and the ovoid of blue flame you have just invoked is creating the form around you now, as you may visualize the aura of Mother Mary as the Virgin of Guadalupe. Visualize the aura, the mantle, the tilma. Visualize yourself standing as though Mother Mary, blue flames all around you. For this cause, I requested that you sing. I may give my chelas, measure for measure, the electronic presence of my blue flame power. Even as you have the free will to claim it, to call for it, it is not you who have lost dispensation, beloved, it is I. Therefore you may call and call again. You may address lords of karma on my behalf again and again. You may devise ways and means to so raise up our beloved flame of God's will, to so intensify the diamond heart, but that perhaps my being benched as I did once bench a Chila may not be of so long endurance. We of the first ray, after all, are impatient. And thus, when we see a goal, we go after it. I shall sit upon my bench and watch you as you no longer sit upon the fence. Blessed ones, be seated in this noble cause we espouse. The hour is overdue for the physical judgment of what Saint Germain has called the international capitalist communist conspirators. The first signs, as you have been shown, as the messenger has been shown, of their judgment, come with a black horse. Thus Elohim have spoken in less than a year from the October pronouncement of the Lord God and Saint Germain as to the judgments upon Wall Street. Understand then, beloved, that as you know the signs written by Nostradamus, foretold by Mary, by Jesus, by the signs in the heavens, a break in the economy itself is the precursor to war and the sign and signal of it. I pray you understand why preparedness of setting one's financial house in order is so essential, and the immediacy then of preparing those shelters is also upon you. The time has come, beloved, that the fallen ones of the planet and other spheres see light and the light bearers as the maximum threat. We hold off and have held off their judgment, as you have been told for many years, that you might have opportunity. And when I say we, I speak of the brotherhood of beloved Alpha and Omega and the 24 elders. As their spokesman, of course, not making myself their equal in this decision. Thus, beloved, the staying hand of the Lord God does act when you give your calls. But the timetables are also set, and there does come the hour when there is no longer the possibility of postponement, unless these fallen ones be judged, and if the consequence be the collapse of their systems. Unless the judgment come, the light bearers shall not have their victory or their freedom. This is a cosmic equation, which I trust you understand. I, MORYA, enter into silent prayer with all devotees of the will of God. And I pray for the light bearers who have not responded to the call and the plea of the Mother. I pray in the heart of the will of God, and I appeal to their hearts now to respond. Will you not also pray fervently by directing a ray of the will of God from your heart to every light bearer upon earth, to give them the strength and support of your attainment, but not to release that light or attainment to them, to bear them up in this hour, that they might see and know the choices and choose well. Gabriel the beloved comes to our aid, does place his electronic presence before all those who are the unresponsive ones, to preach to them once again of the choices of heaven and hell, of life and death, of beingness and non-existence, even of the oncoming judgment of the money beast. I pray, O Father, our beloved Alpha, O Mother, our Omega, hear my inner call of the heart, my imploring, my extension of my heart to these, one more time, one more space. By the grace of God, all have been touched by the sapphire of my heart and my right hand. By your reinforcement, by our oneness, come very close to me, my own Chelas. I embrace you with the love of my heart. Our oneness worldwide is now, as we press closely in the grid of light of the great divine director, as we are one, as we sense our oneness by the pulsation of God, the I am that I am. Our strength of oneness is sealed in the heart of Elohim in this hour. I desire nevermore to be separated from thee, O my beloved. May the desiring of your hearts in the figure eight flow that our God has given to us give you more of myself as the law allows it, as you give to me the light and the beauty, and more light and beauty, and decree and mantra that by that flow I surely may be again able to give to you more than you know. Now, beloved, I commend you to the high road and the rugged road of victory. The future is golden. It is white light before you. If you have the nerve and the stomach, the will and the astuteness, and the contact with hierarchy, and the thread is not broken, you will be there on the golden shore when the light is all effusive. Standing between two worlds, feet firmly in the earth, yet a planet cleansed and free, you shall know the meaning of striding the octaves with Hercules and realizing a goal you have seen before, but the outer mind has not admitted to. It is an initiation of the cross. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? And then an entering in by 5 secret rays. And then, by momentum garnered, a resurrection untold. All this shall come to pass, and yet, for fiery hearts, for whom love is the key, I prophesy, I predict, I affirm, and I stand for victory. Victory in the earth, in the sun, in the sea, in the air.